All right. Welcome, everybody. This is... Oh, shit. I didn't even really think of an intro, to be honest.
Welcome to the Advent 7 podcast. We're here talking about season 3 of my teenage romance comedy.
It's a long-ass
SNAFU.
name. It's super long name.
Advent 7's a name I haven't heard in a great many years.
Yeah, so this is actually the first bit of content that we're making for Advent 7 in a really long time. And the reason why we're putting on Advent 7 is because, you know, we just wanted to put this podcast somewhere, you know, on one of our YouTube channels. And Advent 7 just felt like the most natural place to put it because that site was all about anime and stuff. But I forgot, Spencer, that you knew about this when I was working on all the articles and stuff for it way back in like 2000.
Dude, I had your site bookmarked on my phone.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I'm actually, let me check here. Do I even still have that bookmark?
Maybe. I mean, I
do have it. I do.
It should still work.
Still here after all these years.
It should still totally work.
Great.
Yeah, I still pay for the domain. So the URL advent7.com will still take you there, and you can read like 4 years worth of articles that we wrote there, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we probably only published one article a month towards the end of its run back in 2016, but there's a ton of content on there still that is fun to just go back and read through. And actually, I wrote a review on the first 3 episodes of the second season of SNAFU as it was coming out and published it on that site. So I haven't read it in a while, but that's kind of a real time capsule trip right there, because I wrote that at the time, and now we're talking about season 3. It's just been a really long time. It's been 5 whole years.
This is some kismet right here. Reviving Advent 7 with a SNAFU review.
Well, we don't know if it'll be a revival yet, but you know, I just figured that Advent 7 is a good place to put it. So, to people who are listening, to our audience, welcome. This is the Advent 7 podcast, and today we are going to be talking about My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU, the first episode of season 3. We're going to be doing a quick recap and just talk about our opinions, what we thought of the episode, you know, where we think things are going, and just our overall impressions. So
let's get a quick introduction of our podcast members here.
Sure. Yep. My name's Andrew.
I am the silky voice that is Tre.
Oh boy.
And I'm Spencer.
All right. So yeah, Tre and I, we both actually binged the entire first and second seasons 2 days ago. So we binged it all in one day.
You guys are the most fresh here among us. Yeah.
Tre hadn't actually watched all of the series up until that point, whereas I had. So I sat him down. I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about this in a couple days. We may as well just blow right through it. And it was a pretty good refresher. As you were talking about earlier, Spencer, this series has so much subtext to it.
Oh my gosh, all the subtext. So much subtext. I realized my mistake the moment I started watching the third season, first episode. I was like, okay, yeah, it's been a few years, but I remember what was going on. I understand like where it left off. We left off on a cliffhanger for season 2. It's like I should be able to get back into it. I watched the episode today. God, I need to watch the entire series again because my God, I'm just a little bit lost. I caught myself up enough before this, but I just could do with just a full rewatch at this point, because it has been 5 years since the second season came out. Anything
you watched 5 years ago, you're gonna need to just like, you know, watch it again to get a foothold. You know, I'm really happy that this show got a 3rd season. I didn't think it was going to happen.
I didn't even think it was going to happen.
I gave up like 3 years ago
to get that.
Yeah, holy cow.
There was a 2-year gap between the first and second seasons, which is more or less average for not like super like popular shows, but like kind of like they did well enough. It's like, and so about 2 years later, they get a second season if there's enough following. But to get a third season just overall is kind of rare. So the past year has just seen a lot of third seasons come about. So it's really, really exciting to see this one actually get something.
Spice and Wolf season 3, man, is on the way.
Don't you even go down that road with me. Don't you go down that road with me.
I mean, I'm not kidding. It could happen. God.
It could happen. I'm still praying, but
if Shokugeki could get 5 seasons, then
the Shonen Jump manga though, and it once it got past season 2, it was just going to keep going until the manga was done.
That's fair. That's fair. Like with Shokugeki, they just kind of have a pattern now. But anyways, yeah, I was so incredibly happy when they announced the 3rd season. I think they published the article announcing it on Anime News Network around March of last year, something like that. It was around springtime last year.
I told you that it was getting a 3rd season.
You didn't
take a look.
You didn't tell me, but when I found out, I got so excited. I called you while you were at work.
That's what it was. Yes.
I was at work too, and like I was just jumping up and down outside during my lunch break, just screaming to you, "Oh my god, they did it! They fucking did it! I can't believe it!" Like it was just mind-blowing. You know, and I've been watching SNAFU as a series, the anime series, ever since the first season aired back in 2013. Like I was back before I had Crunchyroll, and I was still watching anime on lesser known streaming sites of
sailing them 7 seas.
Are you claiming piracy, Andrew? We are
I am
legitimate system here.
I'm not skilled enough to be a pirate. I'm more like a swashbuckler.
That's the same thing, just with swords.
Okay, that's I mean, still cool. I like swashbuckler better.
It sounds more refined.
Jeez, I think pirate sounds more refined actually. But yeah, no, I've been watching it since 2013, back before anybody else I knew was watching it. I turned on our friend Drew to the show, and he really liked it too. And then when they came out with season 2, 2 years later, holy cow! Like the whole anime community lit up about it, because the animation, like, it had jumped ship from Brainspace, which was the studio behind Durara.
Yeah, and then it went to Studio Feel after that, which have returned for season 3, which is very nice.
Yeah,
oh gosh,
I think they have a good budget.
Yeah, with moving to Studio Feel, that was such an out of left field decision. You know, I remember reading about that decision too, and I'm like, Feel? The studio that made Mayoshiki and Kiss X Sis and Minami K, among other like slice of life, but also like kind of in the ecchi realm of anime, bro.
Oh, it's not kind of. It was.
It totally was. Yeah.
What? We only watch the most high quality of anime here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, Trey's right. They're both the same thing. And to be fair, Minami K is actually like one of the more wholesome shows I've ever seen. It is just a slice of life show. But it moved to Feel, and that was a pretty controversial decision among the community. Everybody's like, well, dude, how is that going to work? Is it going to be worse? No. The budget shot up. The character designs all got revamped. The pacing in the second season was so much better. And things got a lot more serious.
Oh, yeah. There was a definite uptick in just atmosphere for the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first season was it was more or less like it was going along with each request that the Service Club was doing, but it ultimately was more or less like set up for like showing all the characters and their interactions, all their relationships and everything, and getting them to the point where they can all play together and bouncing off of each other all in a big group, which is a lot of what the second season was dealing with.
I mean, it works out then. It's a 3-arc stage, so we got this first season that sets up establishes the groups, shows us what they would do if we weren't dealing with drama, second season introduces the drama and builds up to the climax, which is also the subtitle for the third season, just so we all remember this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because season 2 was just SNAFU 2 TOO, and then how it's SNAFU Climax.
Can I just say how much it kills me that their naming schemes here leave a little bit to desired? Like a little bit to be desired. You know, I was saying to Trey the other day, look at the logo for season 3. The word climax even has a blotchy, like, splatter around it.
It's an action block. Don't be crazy, man. It's
it's
like a kapow.
I need to look up
It
this.
really could have been a better kapow. They could have added like more sharp lines to it. It just looks like a Nickelodeon blob, and that's already bad.
It's pointy though, so it's fine.
So, you know, SNAFU 2 Climax, it's like, man, I already have a hard enough time telling people about this show by describing the name when they've never heard of it. Be like, oh yeah. Be like, oh yeah. Lately, I've been watching My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU.
It's like,
bro,
why would
what?
you take the whole title?
The title really undersells a lot of what goes on in the
title is misleading.
In the show.
It is.
The title is like a bait and switch.
Like you think that it's going to be just like full on like rom-com, but then it's just like, nope, we're gonna go serious mode once season 2 hits, and a few places in season 1.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and there was comedy in the first season. In fact, I feel like the first season was fairly balanced in terms of comedy versus drama, but when it moved to Studio Feel, it just cranked it up. And we'll talk about that more later throughout this discussion. But anyways, yeah, all three of us are just really happy that this got a third season, and we personally wanted to do something really special to commemorate this happening. So that's why we're doing this podcast, to just talk about it, you know, talk about how much we like the series. In Trey's position, more like the things he doesn't always like about the series.
Yeah,
he's the only one here who's really new to it.
Like, in case anyone who's going to be wondering, I will be the dissenting voice among these folks, because yes, me and Andrew sat down and watched this entire series 2 days ago from when we're recording this, and boy, oh boy.
I did not force him, by the way. He wanted to do this.
He agreed to this.
I agreed. I wanted to do this because I wanted to help with the podcast, and because I knew I was going to be the dissenting voice in this. I knew that, seeing what I've seen from the show, I knew that I'd be like, well, the show is okay, but I'm not going to rave about it. That way we know this isn't a biased, bought-off type of podcast. This is 100% my opinion. All of our opinions are unbiased or totally biased. Who knows? We're not being paid for this.
I'll try to bias him as much as I can, though.
We're going to bias him with lots and lots of bribes.
Right? Yeah. I'll buy him figures of Yukino and Yui. Actually,
I don't even buy figures. That's the thing.
What the hell am I saying? I buy them for myself.
Exactly.
Okay.
You also want a Dakimakura of them, I bet.
Okay, I definitely do. Not going to speak for Spencer. I know that he's not too big on that, but I will 100% take a Dakimakura of Iroha. Not Yui, not Yukino. I want Iroha.
Yeah, actually, Iroha is best girl to me, too. She's interesting.
She has a great back and forth dynamic with Hikigaya, and it's awesome. I can't wait to see more of that in this third season.
Well, it shouldn't really surprise you, considering how much of season 2 was based around Iroha's whole plot with the student council.
Fair.
Like, season 2, that was like the main thing that happened, was her original request to help bomb her chances in the election, and then that getting bait and switched out, and then her actually winning, and then having to deal with the now infamous Christmas planning committee.
Oh God, that
holy cow!
Energy,
oh my
everyone.
gosh! Oh my gosh! Synergistic management solutions. The hand movements, the gesturing movements. God, Trey was dying as we were watching that.
I hated it so much.
It actually really hurt me to see it again. Yes. So, anyways,
all right, let's move on with the actual episode at this point.
Yeah, let's get on to the review.
So, the first scene of season 3 picks off right where season 2 left off. You know, the 3 main characters, they're still there at the amusement park, and it's right after Yukino kind of had this, I'm not going to call it a breakdown, but Yui had confronted her with an ultimatum, and she had to kind of like make a choice whether or not she was going to let like other people make all of her decisions for her, or if Yukino was going to take her life into her own hands, because her whole identity was kind of falling apart in the last season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool just to see that we're not missing any details during the season break. It just immediately is going to start right there again. And as they're walking home, you know, Yukino starts talking to Yui and Hikigaya about her mom for the first time, about her mom, about her sister, about her whole family situation. And if I got this right, she mentions at one point that she actually wanted to take on her dad's job. Was that right?
I think so.
It's kind of strange in the subtitles, but from what I understand, it's that in the past when she was younger, the job that her dad did was the one that she wanted to do herself. Not necessarily maybe taking over the position, but doing what he was doing. So it seems that Haruno, her older sister, being the older sister, was going to succeed in this area, that she'd kind of been the firstborn kind of being pushed to this position. And her mother was sending her Yukino in a completely different direction. And all this time, she's been doing everything that her mom has told her to do. She has followed everything to a T. She has been a model student, model daughter of the family. And it's only recently that she's really started to question all of that and really try to grapple with the fact that she is not happy with this situation.
Right. Yeah. No. So she tells them about this, and it suddenly starts to make sense why her older sister hates her so much. Like, her older sister has just been a total jerk to her this whole time, and it's starting to be clear that this drama between both of them is partially due to this situation. And she tells them both this is the first time that Yukino ever talked about any of this stuff at all to anybody.
Yeah, because up until this point, we've only had hints about Yukino's home life and how that's affected her personally.
Really stretched out hints.
Japanese living alone, away from your family because you want to go to a better school so you can get the best job opportunities and best college applications and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that happened. I'm glad that we finally got some more insight because, yeah, like you said, Spencer, it's just been hints, nothing substantial up until now.
As far as that whole like sequence from the start of the episode and then going into Yukino's home situation and her finally opening up about that, I feel like we haven't really gotten a full like answer, which is kind of alluding to what Yui was talking about when they were going along, walking back to Yukino's place. It's like, okay, so I guess that's your answer here. And I think it really is a case of we're going to see more of this plot thread in this season, and that until Yukino is actually able to feel like she's doing things for herself, she will not be able to basically rectify their group dynamic situation that they had been having in season 2 and truly coming to terms with each other's feelings.
Right.
So in that regard, it's kind of like, okay, we were left with a second season cliffhanger, and we were just left wondering, it's like, okay, what's actually going to happen? And now season 3 has started. It's like, okay, there's more going on here. It's not going to be like an immediate decision still. There's still more to be worked through.
Mm-hmm. Moving on from the point about Yukino where she starts telling him about that stuff,
But before we get to, I do want to just comment on how beautifully they reanimated that final scene from season 2 for the start of season 3.
Oh, was it reanimated?
It just looked better to me. It's like,
it looked
okay.
a little bit different, I will say. I'm not sure if they like went back and touched up the original footage or if they had actually fully reanimated the last bit. It wasn't very much. It was more just Yukino turning in, saying he's like, I have a request myself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it had the same feel as when season 1 ended. They reanimated that. Yeah, they did that because they were switching studios, but this time it just felt the same. Like looking at it, it's like, this looks nicer. I just saw this, and this looks nicer already.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Because when I saw it, I just thought they were reusing the footage from the last season. And I'm just like, damn it. Like, I know the last season style is the same, but that's so lazy. So, no, I'm glad to hear that it sounds like they did actually reanimate that. So, because I know they have the budget for it. This is like Studio Feel's biggest anime. You know, I can't imagine.
Isn't it their only anime right now?
That's a good question. I wouldn't assume it's their only anime. They're normally always doing stuff. It's just that not a lot of their projects are high profile in the center of the anime community like this one is. And they also do like in between animations and like key animation on some other projects too that, you know, for other studios. So yeah, no, that was really cool getting to just see the ending of the second season as a recap to bridge into this new season. Also, I want to talk about the new opening real quick. It's pretty cool. You know, I still think I like the song from the second season more, but what I loved about the opening cinematic for season 3 is that once again, you open up after the title card and it's the three of them walking away from the ocean, and they're all like, you know, walking towards the screen. They're all kind of far away from each other in this really like cool, dramatic.
It's just sullen and dramatic, and it's just like it's just showing us like what we've already seen with their characters from season 2. Is just like the heavy kind of feelings and burdens that they are carrying on their shoulders right now with their relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very in theme. Mm-hmm. And the themes, I do appreciate that all the theme songs still all had the same feel to them, so it's not very jarring between seasons.
Right. Yeah, they also have like a similar style, a similar vibe, whereas other shows, like, you get a new opening and a new season, and it's just a wildly different musical style, which is fine, you know, but it's nice to see that. And something else I noticed is that shot where the three of them are walking away from the ocean, they move in a circle. They move in like a counterclockwise circle, just like the first and second openings, where those two openings also had shots of them standing in a circle that kind of rotated. You had this spinning like cinematic shot around them. So I thought it was really awesome that this is kind of a callback. You know, it's a consistent style with the opening scene that they've kept. So that was really cool. And also the past couple openings had like a brighter, colorful vibe to it with flowers and trees. Those were always a big visual sub-theme. And this time it's just cold, just dark and cold. So you know you're in the end game.
We're in the end game now. Yeah. But it's the winter of our youth.
Oh, geez.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
It's like good work, good use of CG in a lot of these shots. Like that train looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no horrifying CG. Not like that last episode of season 2 with the fish. Isn't that right, Trey?
Gosh, yeah, the fish.
God damn it.
It wasn't even CG. It was just real footage.
It was just photorealistic sharks in a goddamn tank, and I was so bad.
It was like, wait, something's not right. This doesn't mesh. I'm being thrown out of my experience. Damn, that was way too funny. Let's see. Also what I thought was
if we're talking about the opening, I think one of the like coolest shots, just like in terms of just like single shots, just taken on its own. The bit where Yukino is just kind of dancing around in a park with just a long flowing white dress and just spinning around and then looking up into the sky with rain falling down. Like, I just think that is such a good looking shot.
Oh yeah, no, it's a beautiful shot. It's so beautiful, and I can't tell if that's rain or if it's snow actually, since this whole thing's kind of
I'm not
It's
actually
possible it could be snow. Yeah. Part of the opening that threw me off was when the stage opens up and they're all dancing and dresses and stuff like it's a stage. I'm like, oh whoa, okay, this is different. It's still cool.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, and now Yukino's wearing a suit, and now they're doing this. Okay. So
I think that's like a particular like style of like group where there's like the main lead is in the suit with everyone else in the dresses. I think that's actually an actual thing. I'm blanking on what it's actually called though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we take this as a level of symbolism, this could be her finally taking charge of her life.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
that's possible.
The men normally lead in a dance, and right now she's the one in the male position.
Yeah, that's very, very possible. That would be cool if that was the case. Yeah, it's clear looking at the opening that this season is about Yukino. Like, it is definitely centering around her.
But I thought it was my teenage romance comedy snafu.
It's your teen romantic comedy snafu about Yukino. Are you Yukino, Trey?
No.
Then you know what this is really supposed to be about. But yeah, no, the opening was really cool overall. Let's see, what else? Of course, there is going to be plenty of character progression about Yui and Hikigaya as well. Like that's.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In the opening scenes too, like after the anime opening plays, we go back to the show. There are some parts where it's about Yui, and there's a flashback to when Yui and Hikigaya like first met, and Yui came to both of them with her own problem trying to learn how to bake cookies. At the time, Hikigaya didn't know it was for him, but what he ends up telling her was, quote unquote, as long as the person you're making cookies for knows you tried your best, wouldn't that make him like you? Because that's what she was worried about. She wanted to make cookies for somebody. He didn't know who, but she was trying way too hard, and he basically tells her, it doesn't matter if the cookies taste good or not. All that matters is that you tried your best. And then it's
the intent behind the gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. It's the thought that matters. But let's be real here. Do you guys think the cookies are good? Do you think that she actually made good cookies?
I think she did this time with the cookies that she just gave to him.
Oh yeah, definitely. It looks like she's improved.
Okay.
Because Yukino was surprised that she actually managed to get it, because that was a thing in the previous seasons that she just wasn't getting it, and Yukino was just lamenting the fact. He's like, "How do I make you understand?" It's like, how is this going to work? And it seems like she's finally gotten to a point of like she's progressing herself just on her own. Yeah, and she's trying to show the people around her that she has in fact progressed.
Yui is growing. In fact, she has grown so much throughout the series that she is putting her best foot forward, and she knows how she feels about Hikigaya. Even if she hasn't outright said it, even if she still gets kind of shy, she knows what she wants. And she is reaching out towards him. I think
it's pretty clear that each one of them has feelings for Hiki, and that Hiki also has feelings for each one of them. The whole problem with their group dynamic is that if they try to move forward with either one of those relationships, then their kind of little friend group kind of falls apart. And none of them wants that. And that was a big thing with Yui's proclamation at the end of season 2. She was using very vague and obtuse language in a way that Yukino is very obviously going to understand, but without actually actively saying it.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's
Because
the
she
show in a
knows that
nutshell.
Yukino has had problems with actually being expressive with her own identity and making her own choices. And she kind of plays her in this regard. And she almost goes through and says that, yeah, that would be fine. The implication being that, yes, I'll step aside and you two can move forward. But Hiki, realizing that this is wrong, like, he's like, he understands that they need to move forward somehow. He's like, maybe Yui is right, but he realized that it's still not right for Yui to basically force this onto Yukino. And so he speaks up and says that this is wrong and that she needs to actually solve her own problems. And from there, Yui just says, yeah, I thought that's what you would say. Coming back around to is like, she knew that that's what Hiki was going to say, that this wasn't actually going to work out. She's trying to broach the subject and trying to get things pushed forward. And now that leads into season 3 with Yukino having a little more resolve in trying to figure her situation out and actually trying to move forward. And going on from their talk in the park about how she wanted to move on to her dad's job, that's what she wanted to do, but she was unlikely to be able to get to that. They walk up to Yukino's place, and her sister Haruno shows up.
Oh,
and
she's drunk. She's drunk. As fuck.
She's
She's a
drunk.
drunka baby. She's
And
a
I was
drunky baby.
expecting some sort of like a conversation or an argument or something to happen when they go through the door, but we immediately after that cut away to Hiki waking up back at his house in his room. So I'm assuming that next episode will get basically like a flashback to that conversation going on. That's what I'm expecting.
Like,
it seems like they really just kind of wanted to ease people back into Origaru SNAFU with something more lighthearted without immediately diving into
not
anything
just
like
punch
super
people in the
serious.
face. Like don't punch you in the face with all of this drama. Like,
hey guys, we're back after 5 years. We've got a new canon that we'd like to try out on you. I mean, a new show.
For all we know, Haruno just passed out. She's like, I'm a little drunk. I'm gonna go to bed now. Well, torch you later.
Well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going on from that, immediately following that, we get Hiki and Komachi talking as she's getting ready to go. I think it was to either school or a test or something of that nature.
At the school.
Yeah, I think she's interviewing to apply for her high school, which I think Hikigai has confirmed before that is the school he's currently going to. She's going there the following year. So
yeah, and that whole scene was just kind of like, I kind of understand this situation. You kind of watch because he kind of has a flashback to Komachi when she was younger, and he's kind of realized that, dang, she's grown up. Mm-hmm. She's going on to higher schooling at this point, not college or anything, but she's getting there.
Right. And that's awesome. I was happy to see more of their dynamic. It's always fun getting to see Hikigaya and him.
Oh yeah,
and
they're
Komachi.
always poking fun at each other.
The insulting.
Nice,
oh my gosh, the jabs that, especially from Komachi to Hikigaya, the back and forth between them has always been intense. But I felt like with this episode, it just cranked it up another level. Like I can't even recall how many times she calls him creepy.
Yeah,
I mean, he is creepy,
but at the same time, like, she's known him for so long that she knows that the things that he's saying aren't actually in any kind of like serious matter. They're
Or
it's
does she?
or does she? She kind of has just gotten to the point of just having fun with her, and she even tells him that he's like, "Thank you for doing all the things that you've done for me over these years." Like she just outright thanks him, and he starts to cry, and then that leads back into
We're jumping ahead a
more.
little bit. That's the end of the episode.
Was it?
Yeah, that's the. They have two. We have two scenes with them.
Oh yeah, I am jumping ahead. Yes.
Yeah,
So let's roll that back a little.
That's overall what was happening.
That's overall what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we can talk about the Komachi thing first before we jump to the scene between, because I feel like what happened afterwards, where Hikigaya runs into Kawasaki, that to me felt kind of segmented. So I want to get to that after we talk about.
Yeah. We'll keep talking about the Komachi stuff right now, because I think that
you don't mind me crying over here.
Wait, you're crying?
No, not really. But it was a very sweet scene.
It was.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
And just even in their own, as per their dynamic, when that starts happening, they go back to poking fun at each other as well. But it's a very sincere scene, because really Komachi is like one of the only people that really knows what he's like on just a casual, at home, just normal basis.
Sadly, she is his only friend in some way.
Yeah, like she's not his only friend, but she definitely is the only one that gets him. Like to the point that she knows that he's not a bad guy. You know, in fact, I like to think that she calls him creepy all the time because, you know, she knows that he's actually a good guy and worth getting to know. She's just jabbing at him.
She knows that. She knows his self-deprecating humor and drive and everything.
She just stomps all over.
She knows that this is also not the greatest situation to be in, that he should change, but at this point she's not really sure herself how to do that, so she's just kind of taken the role of getting along with him and just watching out for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, it was really heartwarming getting to see their relationship go up to the next level. I was not expecting that in this episode. And, you know, what really was sticking in my mind the whole time was, so why is this happening now? What is the relevance that this whole, like, scene, or scenes between Komachi and Hikigaya have to do with what Hikigaya is going through right now? What does it have to do with the more general upfront conflict that's on our minds with Yukino? And my guess is that this is almost like an example from the writer to the audience that, you know, this is an example of what a healthy sibling relationship would look like, and how Hikigaya has it pretty good actually with a sister who he cares about and she cares about him, and they regularly support each other, like very frequently. She helps him out, you know, with all of his own problems, and then he helps her out with studying and, you know, whatever she needs. So I like to think of it that way, and I felt like it was a pretty cool juxtaposition if that was the intention for why this scene was happening now.
And it could just be set up for, she's going to be in the school soon, and she might distance herself from her brother, or Hikigaya might just distance himself from her because he doesn't want to give her a bad reputation being related to him.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
The other thing is that this is probably set up for the future. You know, like she might, like the series might not end before she goes to school. It might partially involve her going to that school by the end of it. Mm-hmm. But also, you make a good point, Trey, that this is probably like about Hikigaya, like learning that his sister's growing up. She doesn't really need him as much anymore. So he probably needs to be more on his own feet. You know, in a way, this is character development for him. And that might come in handy later with whatever happens. So yeah, we'll see. But it was nice, and I think it was great to break up all the intense sadness that just encapsulated the second season and jumped us off on the third season. It's like, okay, we hit commercial break. time to just steer left and do something else that's going to cleanse your palate a little bit.
Yeah,
So
I understand why they've done it this way, just to give people just a little bit of a breather, considering the length of time between season 2 and now season 3. Kind of just ease people in rather than just going straight at it and just running it down.
Also, the part where Hikigai cries. You know, he cries that his sister is telling him, "Thank you for doing so much for me." And he's like, "What are these? Are these emotions? Are these tears? What is this feeling?" I'm like,
yeah.
And she leaves to warm up the bath, and when she comes back, it's like, "Are you still crying?" It's like, "No, I'm sweating from my eyes. I'm just gonna go get in the tub. Shut up."
Yeah. Yeah. Our main character, he's grown up so much. He's come so far from the selfish pile of misery that was Hikigai at season 1. And now he's actually starting to understand emotions that people have, you know, as well as his own emotions. It's hilarious.
He's thought he's understood people's emotions, and he's been like, what, 85% right most of the time.
Yeah, he gets what's on people's minds. He understands motivations.
Just very, very cynical about it and very self-deprecating.
Yeah, he compartmentalizes things. You know, he tries to separate emotion from rational thought. And in the past, he has believed that, you know, if you're letting your emotions drive your actions, then, you know, clearly whatever you want to do, like, isn't going to work. You know, like he's always believed that those two things shouldn't have a whole lot to do with each other. Or if they do, for example, like Hayama in the beginning of season 2, when he approached Hikigai and the service club about helping Hayama keep his own friends together, and Hikigai being like, if you're that afraid of losing your friends, that means your friend circle was never that strong to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, he's learning that it's not quite that clean cut.
Yeah, he basically said if those bonds would break so easily, were they actually true friendships at all? And when you take that phrase and put it up against the struggles that season 2 was realizing about their own little 3-man friend group, he really kind of realized that, oh, this is a lot harder to work around, because you don't want to hurt anyone. But at the same time, you have to broach the subject at some point, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be painful, but it needs to happen, and you need to be thoughtful about it when it does happen.
Right. It's all about growth.
Off, real feelings. Who does this thing?
Yeah. What are these emotions? Illogical. Cannot compute.
Illogical.
Cannot compute. So, yeah, no, I always thought that was really cool how that first situation, the first arc in season 2, just ended up being what all of season 2 is about, just about him instead. So, yeah, no, it's just cool to see how far he's come. And the scene that broke up the arc with him and Komachi in this episode, the scene with him and Kawasaki, that was funny. That was hilarious. I was laughing my ass off during the flashback scene that we got. I thought that was incredibly fun.
I don't think that flashback scene, it didn't actually happen in season 1, did it?
It did not. No.
I didn't think it did.
It wasn't there. They added it in for context.
And so that's where I want to like bring in the discussion about Kawasaki, as well as like some other side characters, but how she has always felt like she was supposed to be important in the show, like in the story. Like her presence has been highlighted several times, but she'd only show up for a few speaking roles here and there. She was just kind of in the background.
Yeah, because the whole dynamic between Hachiman and Kawasaki's little sister,
I forget.
It's just far too. What's the word I'm looking for?
Familiar?
Maybe not familiar. Like they just got along so well, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is the first time I've ever seen her. Did I miss something?
She did show up during the
Christmas
Valentine's
arc.
Day, no, the Valentine's Day cooking.
Oh, that's
section.
right.
So it's like basically the entire class was there, and Kawasaki was like, "Well, I need to do something so me and my little sister can make some chocolate together too." So
Yeah.
that's why we had the entire, basically all the side characters together in cooking together, and Hachiman probably interacted with Kawasaki's little sister a little bit when they were doing the cooking, since he was there to taste test.
Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that Hikigaya did not interact with Kawasaki's little sister on screen.
No, definitely not on screen.
Yeah.
I
so-
definitely get the feeling that that Kawasaki just in the anime has been skipped over.
Yeah.
It's like, have either of you read the light novels? Because
I
I have not
not.
read the light novels.
No.
I'm current, like, while we're talking here, I'm just scrolling through the SNAFU subreddit, and it's SNAFU season 3 hype. But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff in here about Kawasaki, just like fan art and everything. So she has to be like a more important character that we just haven't seen in anime.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's one of those characters where a lot of details about her and probably effects she's had on the greater story narrative were left out of the first and second seasons. So if you want more details on that, you'll have to go read the light novels. So
Go read the light novels. Go read it.
just read the light novel. Just read the light novel.
Just read the manga. Just read the light novel. Go read the original source material. They don't need to show anything in the anime.
Just play the light novel game.
just play
You want to get into Fate? Play the visual novel.
just play the gacha game. Just buy all the waifus.
Holy shit. Yeah, just spend $1,000 on JPEGs. No.
Yeah, there's a post in here saying that, a lot of her moments were cut from the anime and were just completely skipped over, and that's why they had the flashback to the season 1 spot of Hachiman just kind of running away and saying, "It's like, I love you, Kawasaki," as she got at the information.
Oh my god, she drops her phone. She's like,
yeah, that entire scene was just like, she's like, what just happened? What?
That was incredible. I had to pause the episode because I thought that was so damn funny.
I saw a picture, just a still of that moment where her face is just completely just like flabbergasted, and it just looks so funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if I saw this wrong, but it looked like he noticed her staring at him after we come out of the flashback.
I think
it looked like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, he's just kind of staring when we come out of the flashback. Goes his face first. I agree. I'm pretty sure he was not looking at Kawasaki. He was still paying attention to Komachi as she was insulting him. So for a second, it looked like he knew what was going through her mind, but I don't think that was actually the case.
I think they were still. I think he was still bickering with Komachi in that.
But I had to do a double take, actually. You know, I had to rewatch the episode and be like, "Oh, okay, yep, no, that might not be what was happening," because that's what I thought at first. So no, it's a little disappointing because it's starting to make me think, okay, what other details have we been skipped over by? I think Yen Press actually licensed the visual novels and published them. So
light novel.
Yeah. So
light novel, not visual novel.
I said visual novel. My bad. What is? God, I always get those two mixed up. They're not the same thing. What do you mean they're not the same thing? But like Yen Press is publishing the light novels, so it's possible to go find out what happened. Man, back in 2013 when the first season came out, Yen Press. I don't even think Yen Press was that much of a thing yet, so it wasn't possible.
They were just starting to get more licenses.
Yeah,
because they've really picked up in past years. They license so many things now. Yen Press is one of the biggest light novel English language publishers around.
50% of all that weeb shit you see at Barnes and Noble on the shelves, that's Yen Press.
Yeah, you got Yen Press, you got Viz Media, you got a couple Kodansha.
Yeah,
stuff.
Shit. I forgot that Kodansha does publish stuff.
Seven Seas, Dark Horse. I think those
Dark Horse does comic books and graphic novels.
They do that too.
Yeah,
but
I think my Fully Coolly Omnibus is actually Dark Horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I was getting flashbacks to the last Harry Potter movie where Harry Potter takes out that like piece of mirror out of his pocket, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? You know, they haven't shown that in the movie yet. And then I had to talk to our friend Matt, and Matt's like, oh yeah, no, that was in the book. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, that was an important thing in the book. But that got skipped over. It
happens, in these kind of adaptations when you don't know if you're actually going to have 3 seasons worth to make something, so you have to make choices. And later on, when there's scenes that are imperative that need to happen, but they involve a character or some kind of object that is important to the story, you're like, well, we're just going to do a flashback, or we're going to pretend like the people know. So yeah, I personally want to see more Kawasaki. I would hope that she has a bigger role in this season, although it doesn't feel like there's any warrant for it. So I might just have to go read the light novel.
Unless they're going the true harem route where all the girls just officially want to get with Hikigaya.
Bruh.
Probably not.
Bruh, I'm pretty sure that is the case. Like, I feel like that's becoming the case. Like, how the hell is it that, like, we know Yui and Yukino both have feelings for him of some extent. And then there's Iroha, my girl, my best girl, Iroha.
Yeah.
Fuck me, it's not going to happen. But I
didn't realize
die on this ship.
There is an OVA that went along with the second season that is apparently, like, focused completely on Iroha.
It's actually 2 parts. The first date that he goes on is with Iroha, and then I think he goes on the same date with Yui, I think. And I think it goes better. I'm pretty sure there's 2 parts at OVA, and he meets a sec. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I haven't actually watched it. I was looking through stuff on the show earlier today, and going through the wiki for it. And it's like, okay, 13 episodes. Plus OVA. Wait, there was an OVA for
Someone
this?
needs to get on that binge fest. Someone needs to get on that binge fest real fast.
The binge fest will be coming. It will be coming soon.
I suggest you do this in chunks just because it's exhausting.
It was pretty exhausting, honestly.
It may be exhausting, but I remember watching the first season and the second season. Did I watch it with you, Andrew, or did you just send me off on my way saying you need to watch this? I can't remember which one it was.
I sent you off to watch the first season, and then second season, as it was airing, you and I were talking about it like over the phone, texting each other when we were both in college. And I think maybe there might have been like 1 or 2 episodes here or there that we watched together, either at our anime club at school or if we watched together at my place or something.
Oh, no. It was Pet Girl Soccer So that we watched together. That's the thing.
Pet Girl Soccer So. We binged that in a whole day. Holy shit. That is a 26-episode show. We started from the fucking beginning. Oh,
we did the entire thing in a single day.
It's 26 episodes. That's only a 13-hour day at max.
I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I can't binge like that anymore, man.
Well, we didn't start it until like what, mid-morning or like early afternoon, and then we kind of realized what we had gotten ourselves into, but we were too far in. We were too far gone. Did we actually finish it that night, or did we finish it the next morning? I can't remember.
We actually did not binge it all in one day. You're right. We got to like episode 23, and you were falling asleep. I think I was just dead ass tired. And episode 23 is like really where the climax is in full focus. So we were just like, screw it. Let's come back to this tomorrow and properly watch and enjoy it. So,
we watched it all in a 24-hour span. We'll put it that way.
It was still a lot, man.
But yeah, no, I remember watching SNAFU season 2 as it was airing, and it was just such a ride for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Me
After
too.
having like binged through the first season to get caught up before it started airing, and then actually watching it airing, like it left like an impression on me.
Me too. No, this show really did make a difference, and that's why it's one of my top 10 anime from the 2010 decade. You know, and as season 2 was airing, I was actually reading the recap articles that Anime News Network was publishing, where they were going in depth into each episode and taking it apart and trying to figure out what was going on. By reading those articles, I was figuring out, oh, wait, there's a whole bunch of subtext I missed because I wasn't paying enough attention. Like,
Subtext
oh man,
will do that to you.
This entire show is subtext. It's wonderful. So
yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. No, again, Spencer and I, fully biased, we absolutely love this series. Trey is the person that grounds us.
He also just had to binge it in 2 days, so there's that as well.
Yeah, that definitely was an issue. I bribed Trey with ice cream that day, so. But anyways, yeah, so it was just fun seeing Kawasaki again, and getting that flashback provided some context. We saw a scene we didn't see before. I also felt like the presence of Kawasaki's sister there showed another sisterly dynamic that Yukino probably wishes she had.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see an older sister actually taking care of her younger sister who she cared about, like, lovingly. So that was fun. And then after that wrapped up, we went back to Komachi, and Komachi actually bowed to him traditionally. And said thank you for everything. And full stop, I just want to say, like, what did he do for her besides, like, I guess take her out for dinner once or twice when she was studying for her, like, tests? What did he really do that was, like, of such massively important scale that they had to show this scene in the first episode?
It's more of a sibling dynamic thing where it's just like they've gotten along decently well throughout the years, and it's just younger sibling coming to thank older sibling for the things that they've done for in the past, and then vice versa as well, because she's done a lot for Hickey as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, she's done a ton for him. I'm just trying to think, what in the hell did you do for her?
This is a Japanese culture thing, and plus, we don't see everything that's going on in their lives. We've only had them been in their lives for 24 episodes. We don't know everything that's happened before, or even during the time we've had the show. Odds are, Hickey, even though he looks like a lazabout, he still has done a lot to help her out. That's fair. Yeah, and I'm sure there's other stuff too that they've done together that we haven't gotten a chance to see in the anime. Go read the visual. God damn it! Go read the light novel. Go read the light novel.
I was waiting for it. I knew you were going to do that again.
I need to make a T-shirt that says "Go read the visual novel."
Just cross it out and just say, "Go read the visual novel." Cross out light novel. Cross out manga. Cross out. Just watch the anime.
Yeah, right.
Just
got
watch the mangas and read the animes.
I like to think that I'm fairly patient, though, when it comes to, like, waiting for new seasons of shows to come out. I mean, I waited a whole 5 damn years to know what happened in this series, so I don't normally go to read the novel for stuff. But I'm thinking about it for this series purely because, 1, it's one of my favorite shows ever, and 2, it just feels like I'm missing out on something. That, like, I'm missing out on at least some fan service or some, cool moments between characters that I want to see. I actually want to see more of Zaimokuza at some point. Hikigai's author friend, who they helped out in the first season. I always liked that guy.
The one where they had to review his light novel, and then they just completely roasted him.
Oh man, they tore him apart.
Was so bad. He was like, this part actually hurt to read.
It's like the man is a very misunderstood artist in his time. Obviously,
the man has never heard of run-on sentences. Nah, man.
It's like nonsenses are totally valid. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, maybe when we're doing a podcast, it's fine. But yeah, no, I definitely want to see other characters. Which characters do you guys personally want to see more of? Like, if you had to choose. Because there are a lot. There actually are a lot of secondary characters here. And Kawasaki even mentions her little brother, who was a centerpiece of her introductory arc in Season 1. We have not seen or heard from him since then.
I mean, he's supposed to be coming to
as far as, like, secondary characters, I'm going to just say, so, like, obviously, Hiki, Yui, and Yukino, they're all main characters.
Yeah.
Due to her, like, activity in Season 2 and now, from what I understand, the OVA, I kind of treat her as somewhere in between a main character and a secondary character. If we're going purely off of secondary characters, I think I like we've said here, I want to see more of Kawasaki, but I'd also like to see a little bit more of the girl that was at the student the council bits when they were trying to figure out the winter party planning. The one from Hikigaya's past from his middle school.
Oh,
like
crap.
I'd like to see
Morimoto.
her just like
Coward.
Yeah, I'd like to see her just kind of interact with people a little more. She was just a
hype
full
man.
On.
She was a hype man during that.
Yeah,
whole
she was just a hype man the entire time.
That's the ticket. That's the thing.
That's the ticket. Is like I want to just see her just kind of. I don't know how I want to put this. Just stir the pot a little more because
you already have someone who stirs the pot.
Thing.
Let's not do this anymore.
You total masochist. We have enough stirring the pot. The pot is boiling over at this point with all of just the bullshit that Haruno keeps adding to it. Like every time that these characters have something good happen to them, every time the three of them feel remotely happy as friends, voila! Guess who's here, folks? It's Mega
Haruno
Bitch time
to ruin the day.
It's like, who hurt her? What is her back? That's what I actually want. I want her backstory just to know what is wrong with her.
And we are finally getting some
life.
We are finally getting some of that backstory. I'm so happy about that. It has been
I guess the other person that I'd like to see just a little more of, just interact with everyone, is Hayama, since he seemed to have like the most going on as a secondary character. Kind of like because he kind of ended up being Hachiman's foil, in essence.
Foil. A lot of Hayama's issues are just are turning into Hachiman's issues, and so that's I don't know where I'm going with this, but
Hayama, I totally agree with you, man. Hayama would be awesome to have more of, simply because we still don't know a lot about him either. You know, he's been kind of cryptic in the past. Like, he has a rocky history with Yukino, which Yukino has like briefly explained, but we never heard it from his point of view. What happened? You know, he only alluded to at one point saying that he tried to help her at some moment in the past and he didn't. But he's a strange character because in a lot of ways he is a mirror of Hikigaya. Like, he is so similar to our main character, and yet just on a different path. So
that's the foil character for you.
Yeah, I would like to see more of Hayama as well. I think that'd be cool. I think he has more use for the story here. And I just want to say, my favorite moment with Hayama will always be when they're on that double date with Kaori and her friend, and Hayama just straight up says to them, "I don't like you two. I don't like it when people make fun of others." And
I guess I should amend my statement a little bit from earlier. I want to see her like stir the pot, only to not this time be shut down, but actually kind of have her realize that, am I a bad person?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see development. I don't want to see her just be a total jerk to Hikigaya.
I guess I should amend my statement as such as that.
That's totally fair. Like, I get that. You know, just wanting to see a character grow a bit more would be cool. But yeah, like, whenever she was on screen second season, I could not stand Kaori. I just wanted her to get the hell out of here. When she shows up for the student council arc in second season, she shows up again during the meetings with Iraha. I remember, Trey, you're just like, oh, God damn it, not you again. I'm just like, yep, she came back. That's the ticket.
Yeah, that's the ticket. It's like, for my opinion, the secondary character I kind of want to see them more of is the teacher. She's interesting.
Oh, yes.
She is quirky, and she has in a lot of high school dramas, rom-coms, whatnot, they kind of shy away from the teachers whenever they want to just focus on the students, which is important because it's their show. But I feel like the teacher could have some insight, especially since she's friends/taught Haruno. So seeing their relation, having her be able to explain something would be nice.
Yeah, it's a kind of case of she understands more or less what the problem is with both Iki and Yukino, and she's wanting them to learn and figure it out on their own, so that way the answer that they get to is much more meaningful, I feel. She's trying to make them see what's going on rather than just outright telling them.
Right. She only shows up when she needs to provide a little bit of guidance and get them on the right path.
Just kind of point them in the direction that they should be walking.
Right, exactly, which I think is great. That's evidence that she's an amazing teacher. You know, she is not giving them the answers. She's guiding them down a path that will provide them experience, help them grow, help them make their own path in life, but still get something out of it, which is what she wants for them. So that's great. She is basically prepping them for life after high school. She's their counselor, and that's awesome.
Because when you go back to like the first season, the very first episode, when she takes Hiki to the service club room to meet Yukino, you're gonna get the feeling it's like she's either brilliant in putting these two antisocial, like they're each antisocial in a different way, and purposefully sticking them together in such a way that they have to interact with each other. It's like this was either a brilliant move or a foolish move, and it's not until their relationship and everything develops and we get Yui in the mix as well that you realize, like, okay, yeah, no, this was a pretty good move for these two characters. Yeah,
no, I think it's genius. You know, I think that the teacher is really clever, and none of this would be happening if it wasn't for the teacher putting the three characters together in the same room in the first place. They never had to meet, but the teacher was the catalyst for these three coming together, and now they're doing things they never would have imagined in the beginning of the series. Like, the three of them never would have been friends. They never would have been this invested in each other's lives. But the teacher, she knew that these three would play off very well, you know, against and with one another. And they'd learn from each other. Each one of them had some kind of aspect that the other person was looking for. So the three of them could help each other. The service club wasn't about helping other students. It was about the three helping each other. That's
the lesson of the day, kids.
Oh, geez. So overall, it was a really good first episode. You know, I definitely want to see more characters in the future. We just got to the first 20 minutes. The first episode went so fast for me. You know, watching it. Like, the best part is that watching these characters in new scenes interact with each other, creating new plot lines, threads for us to follow. To me, it felt like I was watching this show all over again back in 2015 when the second season came out. Like, I had the same just comfortable feeling of like, man, it really struck me how much I missed these characters, how much I really, really wanted to see what was going to happen next. So I can't be happier that we have a season 3. We're going to have closure. We're going to have a way to wrap up the series. By the way, the author of this light novel, I'm pretty sure they waited up until this year to finally release the last novel of the story to coincide with the release of the anime.
Oh, man, I didn't know that.
So everybody, the entire fan base, including the light novel readers, did not know how this was going to end up until now.
So this is going to be a treat for everyone.
Yes.
It's like, we're going to see how the world ends on this one.
I don't think it's going to be that dramatic. This isn't the world.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
You're thinking of a different show coming up soon called The World Ends With You. I've been waiting a very long time. I've been waiting way longer for that.
That sounds like it's going to need a podcast in and of itself.
Oh
yeah,
God,
definitely.
it might. I might try starting one for that too. Because God,
I mean, we'll just be continuing off of this. It's like
it's true. We'll see where this goes. Honestly, I would like to continue this and make a new podcast recording for each episode that comes out, just so we can talk about our impressions and what we thought, what we hope is going to happen. I feel like that could be pretty fun, and an effective way for us to just celebrate this new season, celebrate the ending of a long-running show, and help at
also
least
celebrating the fact that an anime is going to be fully adapting the source material.
Oh my gosh, really?
it's a rare thing indeed.
It's a rare feat.
It took Sword Art Online a long-ass time too. But thankfully we live in an era of anime now where it's a possibility. Is actually a possibility.
Everything can get a second season. You just have to hope hard enough.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just keep giving
and buy
Crunchyroll
all the figures.
Yeah, just keep buying figures because that's one of the few ways I think.
Oh yeah, you're gonna buy figures, and that's gonna get all of it there.
I want a figure of Iraha so damn badly. Oh, more than that, boys. I want a T-shirt of Iraha from that scene in season 2 where she says, "Hikigaya, you better take you better take responsibility for this." after the whole amusement park episode. Oh God, that was amazing. There is a T-shirt of her out there. Look it up if you're listening to this. There's a T-shirt that I'm pretty sure Studio Feel actually released of her face. And she's just saying this line. It's just,
I would laugh my butt off if that's actually the case.
Anyone listening, if you want to send us gifts, send it to P.O. Box. I'm kidding.
I'll gladly wear this T-shirt out in public every day if you send one our way. I probably just need to go buy it.
Yeah, probably.
Or I should just go make it. T-shirt printing is a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No. All right, so boys, before we wrap things up here, predictions for the end of the season.
Ooh.
Predictions for the end of the season. What we hoping for, what we want, what we hope doesn't happen.
I want Iraha and Hikigaya to hook the fuck up. Screw everybody else.
All right, Spencer.
Andrew?
Yeah?
No.
Why? Why? No. Why you stomp on my dreams? Trey just asked me what I wanted. I can't want this. Let a man dream.
Oh, I hope that they stick the landing. I want them to actually come full circle and actually have them get their answer, and that it actually be satisfying. I want so badly for this to be a very satisfying ending, to just say that the show, the story as a whole is complete and it's good from start to finish.
Satisfying. That is the key word.
That is my big hope for the end of the series. I'm going to leave the rest of particulars out in the open just to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Personally, I would bet money that Yui and Hikigaya are going to get together. I feel like they're drifting more towards each other, as Yukino, her development is more as a friend that both of them really need to help. Mm. But I personally see Yui and Hikigaya having a stronger bond between the two of them romantically. But I totally agree. I want this to stick the landing. I want this to be a satisfying conclusion. I want plot lines to be wrapped up. Some other characters get their screen time. Get Zaimakuza back up there, so he can be Hikigaya's wingman at least one more time. But it's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. I really don't know. all the subtext, all the passive aggression, all of the games that happen between each of the characters in this series, and the way they have to sift through all the drama, anything can happen. I really don't know what to guess. I would just hope that, there is one other thing we haven't talked about that I really hope happens. I hope that Haruno gets punched in the face. Or at least I hope there is a final confrontation where Yui, Yukino, and Hikigai are all standing together and they all tell Haruno to piss off because, man, she deserves it. Like, I get that she's a terrible person. She has her own, problems going on and, it's not entirely her fault, but I want to see a confrontation happen there that could end in a satisfying way. And I'm going to guess that will happen at some point. It's got to happen. That's where things have to lead in some way, because Haruno is like the Darth Vader of this series. She is in my mind, she is the main villain. She is the one that always shows up to screw everything up. And if she's Darth Vader, that makes Yukino's mom Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious didn't have much of a presence. He was just the man pulling the strings. But I would like to see some sort of final confrontation that was really dramatic, but also really cool. So,
yeah.
For the next episode, it looks like, we're going to get to see Iroha again, which makes me really, really fucking happy. But also in the preview for the next episode, there was just a couple close-ups on Yui. So it seems like she's going to endorse something. There's going to be something going on there. I have my fingers crossed that Yui will confess to him at some point, but we'll see what happens. As much as I love Iroha, she's my girl. I'm gonna sink on this ship. I just know it, and I'm not a good swimmer, but I don't care.
I just want one thing and one thing only. The final shot of the show is having Kiki. I want the three main club members to all be sitting within 2 feet of each other behind the desk. I'm tired of it. Hachiman just needs to sit on the inside of the table. I don't care about anything else. If he's sitting on the inside of the table, it'll be great. That's all I care about.
They just need to sit together. That's all it takes. God. Yeah, no, he has never put his knees underneath the table at the same time as the others, unless it was that climax in second season where he sat directly across from them. But that was different. That. Yeah, I'm with Trey. We just need to see the three of them all sit together, not on opposite sides of the table, not on opposite sides of the room. Just be normal. Be normal social friends for a change. Hell.
Right, they have to admit they're friends, sit together, but then my high fantasy one is that if they just end in an OT3, they just polygamy. Call it. Done.
Oh no! this oh no, it's not that kind of harem. God, this isn't Aremo. In fact, Aremo didn't even end that way either. It certainly could have. But I mean, I've also thought about that too. It's like, I'm pretty sure Yui would be fine if it was polygamy. I'm pretty sure Yui just wants the three of them to stay friends. Hikigai is clearly not going to oppose that. He doesn't have the balls. He does not have the balls to push that away. So it's just up to Yukino. And I mean, Yui is convinced. I am debating the ethics of this. I am saying there is a fucking chance here that Yukino is going to straight up say, you know what? I love my friends. Let's do it. Polygamy. We'll see if this works. I'm my own woman. I can make my own decisions. I don't need no mom or older sister telling me what to do.
Okay, Andrew, break it down.
And I think with that, we have officially gone off the rails.
Yes. All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast.
I'm so tired.
Join us again for the next episode, hopefully.
There's 12 episodes. Well, we don't have to do it every episode. We can work something else out.
I want to do it every episode. I want to do it every episode.
Oh man. Oh jeez.
Like, I don't know if we're going to be able to talk for a half hour every time, but we will see how it goes.
I'm pretty sure this went over a half hour.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's because we talked about everything so far leading up to the show, including the show.
Yeah, we had a recap of previous seasons and gave background, so that adds to it. So next time it'll probably be shorter. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time to listen to us ramble. This has been great. I'm Andrew.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Spencer.
All right, and we will see you all next time.